And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. Happy Monday. Happy Candy Hangover Day.
Happy first. It's fracking November, dude. This is insane. The year, I don't know where the year went. It's kind of annoying.
All I know is I got coy dogs howling outside my window, so it's very on point for tonight.
Oh, that's not cool.
Oh, they're there almost every night. We got a pack of them roaming the area.
Oh, jeepers. All right. Well,
It's all good.
okay. So let's see. What do we got going on here? Right. We've got the doc is ready, right?
Doc appears to be ready.
All right. And yeah, we're doing previews. Did you pull the slides up?
Slides are up.
Okay. Patrons are ready. Went through the list earlier because it's the first of the month. So I guess we are ready to roll. So this will be fun. Oh, wait. You know, I'm just going to put this into our Discord here. All right. Alrighty, so let me go to the soundboard. All right, check. I am pinging the hell out of that board.
Yeah.
I think I've got a lot of gain. Check. 1, 2. Yeah, like I noticed my audio last week was really like I was pegging.
Yeah, we actually got a Twitter comment about that.
Yeah, so. Alrighty, I think we're good. Okay, let's get this road on the show. Red button.
All right. In a moment. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Red.
I have too many screens now.
I got the red button.
All right, I'm also over the red button. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Click. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the PlanesTalkers Podcast, a show by casuals for casuals. I'm your host, Will Benson, joined as always by my, hey, it's November 1st, and I'm in a sugar coma, co-host Aramis. How are you, sir?
Crashing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's get into...
Untap, upkeep, and draw.
And you said can't talk crashing, right? Like your sound was low. Yeah, let's see.
It did. Yeah, there was a record haul this year for trick-or-treating.
Wow. Okay, because you are very low. Let me see.
If chat works this time. Hi, Bama.
Yeah, Bama's in there. Nice. All right, let me see what's going on here. Because you're actually super low in the mix.
That's not a good
Are you whispering tonight? Are we in whisper Aramis mode?
No, not really. I mean, just haven't really gotten to the good stuff yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So make sure that my things are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Listen, it's for those of you who don't know, it's a new studio for Benson. So.
Yes, I've moved into my permanent home. So there is a bit of an echo even tonight. Oh, wow, the lava lamp is in like the zoom shot. But it's not on the main shot, so that's all right.
Cool.
Yeah, let's see. Pull up the sound.
Orange
here.
reaching for it.
You know, we may actually take...
Dude.
All right, talk some more. I may actually take that whole thing again. We may wipe this.
Wow, really?
Hey, that's the upside, man. This is a live recording session.
Yeah. That's there was never any illusion about that. So
yeah, you are really, really low. That is so weird.
I don't know. My gains should be fine.
Let's see. Talk some more. Oh no, that's all me. That's actually all me this time. Like I see me echoing. Yeah.
Live show. Woo!
Right. Let's set default to Yeti speakers. Let's see if I bump you up here. I mean, it'll be fine in the main audio mix because you're recording yourself. So,
Right.
okay, that's a little bit better. Keep talking. Talk.
Okay. We're going to do things about cards and games and Pokemon and stuff.
Okay, that works. All right, let's erase. Hit stop. Let's erase. We're going to take the whole thing again, the whole intro again.
Sure. Stopping, killing, dying. Save project? Hell no.
Right?
Oh,
I got to
that's
tell you, I do
real.
love the fact that I'm so well lit now. Like, I've got the perfect lighting, so.
Good.
Alrighty, let's try this again. 3.
Take 2.
Yeah, do you over the button?
I'm over the button.
All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
Click.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the PlanesTalkers Podcast, a show by casuals for casuals. I'm your host, Will Benson, joined as always by my, hey, it's November 1st, and I'm in a food coma co-host, Aramis Perez. Aramis, sir, how are you?
Can't talk. Crashing.
Let's get into the...
Untap, upkeep, and draw.
All right, so untap, upkeep, and draw. And those of you listening to the live show heard take 1. This is take 2. Forgive the echo. I still am figuring out the studio, so there's a slight echo in here, but we're working on it.
Just a massive sugar rush that I was experiencing. That works.
That works for me. So before we begin, though, we want to remind you that this episode and every episode of the PlanesTalkers Podcast is sponsored by Kerwin's Game Store. Kerwin's Game Store is New York State's premier source for collectible card games, tabletop games, miniatures, comic books, retro video games, and toys, with their clean, open gaming areas available to everyone at no charge. Kerwin's provides a fun and inviting atmosphere for new and experienced gamers alike, with locations in Catskill, New York, and also on the second floor of Poughkeepsie Gallery in Poughkeepsie, New York, as well as their new location, which we haven't been given the okay to necessarily throw out there yet. But there is actually now a new location. So, and how did that open? Interesting. So,
Benson's over there hitting buttons.
oh yeah. So we want to say, Kerwin's is the absolute best place to go in gaming. Now, like I said, Poughkeepsie, Catskill, you can find them online if you can't get to their places, and Aramis has disappeared. You can find them at kgsonline.com. That's KiteGoSamuelOnline.com. If you use the promo code PlanesTalkers at checkout, you get 5% off your online order, which is just appropriate for this time of year where it's time to buy Christmas gifts for Will. And we also want to take a second to recognize our patrons. Our rare level patrons are Steve, Spencer, Chiba Tank, Nurse Gamer VJ, Bell, Josh, Jonathan, George, David, Anthony, Dragon D's Nuts, and our newest member, Levi. And we also want to shout out our Mythic Rare patrons, Jake, Jonathan, and Imagine Dragging the Sea Across Your Face. I still love it. And we also cannot forget our producer, Jamie. We thank you guys so much just for everything you've done. We couldn't do this show without you. Believe it or not, so much of what you guys do. As a patron, they get so many great little bonus and so many little perks. One of the biggest perks they get, well, besides what we're doing right now with the Win-A-Box promo, we'll talk about that in a minute. But they also get first dibs at our Commander Craft broadcast, which is on Wednesdays at 7. We play 2 listeners in usually 2 games. Sometimes it's only 1, but usually at least 2 games where we end up playing each other in Commander, Paper Commander, using Spelltable over the internet. So our patrons get first stabs at that. They have until tomorrow morning when I'll open it up to anyone in our Discord or anyone else who wishes to play. To find out more and becoming a patron, go to patreon.com/planestalkers. They also get first shot at our Win-A-Box tournament, and this tournament, that was actually something. A lot of people took advantage of that. We're also proud to be the flagship podcast for the Planestalker network of podcasts. Our sister show, Cantrip Cartel, is launched. They're on Anchor at anchor.fm/Cantrip Cartel, and you can download them on almost all podcatchers these days. You can also find them on our Discord. They have their own section. Go to discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. We also want to finally remind you, we do have our survey still open, survey.planestalkerspodcast.com. Go there, do the surveys, let us know what you think. We actually are reading it. We're implementing things, and we're really thankful. But we're still in untapping, so I am definitely going to untap in my new office that actually has a refrigerator. So I'm drinking some District 96 Dale Snake Ale. It's a Northeast IPA, so down the hatch, a salute. And Sir Aramis Perez, how the hell are you, sir?
Listen, the calendar turned November 1st, and I'm sitting there staring at the calendar rather accusingly because I'm trying to figure out where March went. Because I mean, 2021 has been bloop, and it's gone.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Not that I'm complaining because we're still in the midst of this, whole pandemic, but I wish 2020 had gone by that fast.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm with you on that. It's definitely been a strange year. It's been a strange year of changes. Like the fact our daughter moved out and moved into her place. She got moved in on Friday. Yay. She's living with Logan, who's now a member of the family. Like I no longer can refer to him as, just the boyfriend. He's living with Isabel now, so it's, he's family, which is great. And I think he's a wonderful person. I do. But we got them all moved in. That was interesting. Moving, I hate moving. I don't know anybody that likes it, but moving, period. Like
that's not fun. I've done my fair share of that. It's not great. I mean, you get good at it.
Yeah, and that's just
one
it.
Of those, it's not a skill you want to be good at. I'm really hoping that our next move is the last one, but it's technically going to be 2 anyway, so whatever.
Well, I ended up taking over because Isabel never moved before. She was, we were moving Logan out of his place. We were moving Isabel out of her 2 places. And I'm like, honey, you have no idea the amount of, we have to really think about. And at one point she was like, okay, we're loaded up at her dad's. And I'm like, okay, let's run a run. And she's like, well, no, Logan and Gabe will be here, soon. Like, how soon? She's like, an hour or so. I'm like, honey, we're going. Like, no. We'll come back. They'll be here. Like, it was just one of those, because it was so many spinning parts, but we got it done. We got it all done on Friday. So she came over Sunday, picked up a few things out of the room while I was setting, everything up Saturday. And, it's an interesting dynamic, though. One of your kids has moved away and they're not at college and they're not going to be moving back in. Or if they do, it's because something's happened that, it's a strange feeling. Like, you feel a little weird. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving this room. This space is really cool. But wow, how strong is this? What were you up to this weekend? I'm drinking a gallon of straight PCP. Jesus, Dave.
So listen, I have a 7-year-old, which means this weekend was all about Halloween, which I am totally okay with.
Isn't it his birthday too?
No, his birthday's in February.
Oh, okay.
So we picked up my brother-in-law from Ithaca on Saturday.
Ooh.
It's a nice drive. It's a little boring. It's
Yeah.
kind of a straight shot. One of those things. It's a lot of I-88,
Yeah.
which is an abomination, but it's not as bad as I-787. Anyway, it's a very nice drive. It's very easy. Once you do it a couple times, you basically memorize it. We picked him up. We watched. We had like a little family movie night for Halloween. We watched the new, not the newest one, but the animated Addams Family that came out a couple years ago.
Ah, okay.
That was kind of nice. That was kind of cool. And then on Sunday, we kind of chilled out for a bit. And
Trick or treat.
we did our traditional pizza and wings before we went trick-or-treating. Alejandro went as Marty McFly, and his brother and my brother-in-law, his uncle, went as Doc Brown.
I love
it
that.
was really cool.
I saw pictures of that.
Yeah, me and my wife went as bacon and eggs, and believe it or not, we were actually the bigger hit of the evening.
Yeah.
More people came up to us going, "Oh my God, bacon and eggs! That's so cool!" And some people were like, "Oh, hey, it's the guy from Rick and Morty."
Oh dear.
And it's like, yeah, no. But a lot of people did get the reference, and they thought it was really cool and awesome. So that was good. And he got more candy this year, I think, than he ever has. He filled 2/3 of the little bag that he carries around. We got him one.
You're not at the
We got him
pillowcase
like a
level
personalized trick or treat, like a little personalized trick or treat bag with his name on it when he was born. So every year he's gone trick or treating, he's taking that bag with him. And this year it was at least 2/3 of the way, if not a little bit more full. So I was very, very happy for that. The candy tax man is coming.
Oh yeah.
There is no escaping that. We did end up. We were getting close to the end of trick or treating, and this nice couple came up with a pair of greyhounds. They were super nice dogs, super nice people.
Buses? Oh, okay.
The dogs. And they're like, "Hey, our house is at the end of the road here. We have our bowl of candy set out. Go ahead and clean us out. Take as much as you want.
Oh dear.
We're like, cool. Okay. So we
And
get
done.
there. And, there were a couple of kids coming up behind us, so we didn't take all of it. We took a huge handful, but there was still plenty left. And, of course, it's dark. You don't know what you're grabbing.
Tell me
We
they
get
were the
home.
full-size candy bar people.
I wish.
Ah.
No, these were the Jesus candy people.
Oh, no.
So it's bags of jelly beans and Smarties, but all of them have scripture writings on them or talking about God and how it's all wonderful and He is the Lord and our Savior, blah, 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 blah. And for those of you who don't know, I'm kind of an agnostic atheist. I have no problem with religion per se, but we're not forcing anything onto our son until he gets old enough to make the decision for himself.
Well, we'll force the
And-
agnostic atheism on him. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean that may come just by osmosis, but
I know,
we're
I'm
not
just kidding.
we're letting him, like, if he decides to say, hey, I want to be Muslim, great, that's awesome, do your research.
Yes.
That's all we ask. But yeah, so we're like, all right, well, I guess that's why they wanted to give us so much candy.
And,
It's not, and the candy's actually pretty good. It's not that it's bad. It tastes fine.
and
So-
Pam comes in for the win.
The holy jelly beans, I do.
See,
The power of candy compels me.
this is weird. I'm of two minds in the subject. I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm very much so. But I'm not a dick about it, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I'm very much like, so I get that. Like I think about something like Penn Jillette put out a video a few years ago because some guy kept proselytizing to him with like a Bible. Like he handed him a Bible and he's like, I'd love to talk to you about this. And Penn Jillette, who's very not, remotely in this camp of Christianity whatsoever, but he was like, you know what? I dig it because if if you think you know the way to eternal life and you don't share it with somebody, what kind of an asshole are you? And I'm like, that's a very interesting way to look at it. And so I've kind of always had that. Like, I live my life the way I live my life. I talk to anybody who wants to talk about it. But, I'm also...
Penn is a huge atheist.
Oh, huge. But it was incredible to listen to him talk about it because he's like, he wasn't insane. He wasn't crazy. It sounds like your neighbors weren't. They're just proselytizing.
Nice.
Right. They're just
Yeah,
proselytizing.
and
And you know what? For me, I'm like, whatevs.
And it wasn't like we're not like offended by it or
Right.
anything. We have a good laugh about it, but they never came across as the type of people saying, "Hey, here's our candy, and by the way, you need to read these scriptures because you're gonna burn in hell."
Well, yeah. Well, So, I mean, you are.
I'd rather be warm than cold.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's go to upkeep before I get excommunicated from my church. So, obviously tonight we've got quite a big show. It's Crimson Vow time. It's welcome to previews. So we have card previews. We're going to go through some of the mechanics. Kind of bird's eye. I mean, obviously this show is going to go a little long tonight. It almost always does on this episode. But we're going to go through that. We're going to go through, we each picked about 3 cards I think we're going to kind of tear apart. We do have some combat, maybe. May talk about something. If not, if there's no time for Love, Dr. Jones, I totally get it. And then we're going to, in main 2, it's going to be wall-to-wall with a box and tell you guys how you can win a box of Crimson Vow. So that's going to be our show. Let's get into the main phase.
Main phase.
All right. Welcome to main phase. So, Crimson Vow they've started we shouldn't call it spoiler season, preview season. They started previews, last Tuesday or Thursday? Thursday, yeah.
Last Thursday.
With one of the most shortest and
not cringy.
Yeah, a little cringy.
It was cringy.
It was very cringy, yeah. I mean, it wasn't Jimmy cringy, but it was...
They mentioned Jimmy.
They did mention... I was like, oh, God, are they going to bring Jimmy out in, like, a werewolf costume? Dear God, don't do
I was kind of expecting that. Actually.
Yeah, actually, so was I. And, but I will say that it was not what I expected. But then again, I mean, they're kind of doing more streams lately. So obviously they just had one for Midnight Hunt. But, during those streams, you'd also get and this is the roadmap for the next year. And this is what's coming up. And this is how they'd get more into the lore. Whereas this one was kind of like, they had 2 people who I didn't know. I think one of them was from Twilight or
Well,
Or True
the
Blood.
one, Becca Scott is a Magic personality.
Okay.
She's done like commentating for on tournaments and things like that
Okay.
before. She's a personality for Magic.
Okay, and the other one was an actress for something. And,
Some vampire for something. Yeah,
and probably
I don't know.
honestly, I'm looking at her going, she's thin, she's got red hair, somewhat of the right age, probably Twilight. In fact,
I was thinking it was
kinda
either
wanna look
Twilight
her
or
up
True
now.
Blood. I couldn't tell.
yeah, if she's True Blood, well, that means there's like, you know what's out there.
I had never watched True Blood.
There's probably booby pics, so But again, she was rather small, so what are you gonna do? But let me see the Crimson Vow preview. Who was on it? I forget her name because now I do want to know. But they had the preview video where, and I mean, they really kind of just looked at like 3 or 4 cards, I guess, and
I mean, lately they've kind of been doing that. They've kind of been like scratching the surface, I guess, of the set instead of going more in depth. I don't know. It feels like the previous seasons in the past, there were more cards they would drop. You're like, oh my god, wow, this is what they're doing. And this one was just like, hey, here's the mechanics. Here's a couple cards that explain it. A couple of the cards were kind of cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, I really kind of felt it was. She's in True Blood, by the way. So yes. So okay, so she's a nookie vampire. She's not a lame vampire. I'm down with that.
She doesn't sparkle.
No, she doesn't sparkle. Thank Christ. So, but in any event, JVA. I'm so salty they reprinted Thalia and not Snapcaster. Well, listen, they're not done yet. Snapcaster would be saved till last day.
Snapcaster's not going to be in the set because Flashback is not in the set.
Right.
If he was going to show up, he was going to be in Midnight Vow.
That so sucks.
Because
it does need a reprint. Yeah.
It does.
Unless they throw it, maybe they'll throw it in the Commander set. I'm sorry.
That
ain't happening. So, which sucks because they really do need that. So they had this event. It was okay, but they went through the mechanics. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the mechanics because there's like 3 or 4. There's three new ones. There's training, which is mentor.
Right.
There's exploit, which is sacrificing a creature.
That's also a returning mechanic.
Is it? Oh, so there's only one new one. And blood tokens.
Well, Cleave, training, and blood tokens are new.
No, Cleave's not. Cleave is a return.
Cleave is new. Cleave is new.
I thought Cleave is a return.
No, Cleave is new. Cleave. Well, we'll talk about Cleave, but it is a new mechanic.
Okay, because I really thought we used that in one of the earlier versions.
No.
Yeah, introduced in Crimson Vow. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what a mechanic though. Holy shit. Please keep that. It's kicker with an upside.
It's kicker. That's all it is.
Yeah. But it's interesting. So exploit is sacrificing a creature, have the incoming creature do fun stuff. Cleave, we'll talk about in a minute. Blood tokens, sack it, pay 1, you draw a card. It's kind of like Clue, but you're paying 1.
You have to discard a card too.
Oh yeah. So it's kind of like that red spell on a stick.
It's kind of like a Clue, only you get some different synergies out of it.
Yeah. I'm thinking Cleave is similar to Overload. You're right, Jake. And return, and then they also have Day and Night and Disturb is coming back as well. Cleave is the interesting one. Cleave is kicker, but
kicker overload.
colored kicker, I guess would be what I'd say.
Kicker's been colored.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's so basically what Cleave does is you have your spell has its regular cost, its regular effect. For instance, the one they previewed was Dig Up.
Yeah.
So Dig Up is a sorcery for a green that says search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it to your hand, and then shuffle. It has Cleave of 1, 2 black, and a green. So you can pay it for the Cleave cost instead of the regular cost. And if you pay the Cleave cost to cast a spell, some of the text in the effect of the spell has brackets around it.
Right.
When you cleave a spell, you remove the brackets. So if you pay the Cleave cost...
You mean you remove the words that are in the brackets?
Yeah, you remove the words that are in the brackets. So what happens is that dig up then becomes search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So it turns into Diabolic Tutor.
Right.
So you either have Lay of the Land or Diabolic Tutor, depending on how you pay for it. It gives the spell some flexibility as to how you want to use it. A lot of people have been basically saying that it's basically kicker. So you pay 1 green and you do the thing. You pay 4, which is the kicker, the total with the kicker, and you do a different thing. So I can understand where that comes from. There's a lot of things in the game that are basically like kicker. But it's a fun little twist on being able to play with the text box and make spells do different things entirely dependent on how they're worded. So I kind of like the idea. I'm not sure how good Dig Up is. I think this might be a card that might see some play in Commander. Or maybe some Standard, but it's a fun ability. I'm curious to see where this ends up, popping up.
Yeah, it's the big hotness right now. I think Cleave is kind of where it's at, and we can let's pivot off of that then. So that's kind of the mechanics. Let's go ahead and let's go into some of the previews. So let's open up the slide, and I have it open here on the screen. So the first one we've got is one of yours. So let's go ahead and hit it. Laid to Rest.
Yep. So the first card I want to talk about is Laid to Rest. It's a uncommon enchantment for 3 and a green. And it's pretty straightforward. Whenever a human you control dies, draw a card. That's really good. I think human decks are going to really love this card, especially if they're Selesnya.
Yeah, it's going to be a modern staple for sure. Because modern humans is a lot. Yeah,
four mana is a lot, but I like the cost. But that's not all it does.
Right.
It also has text saying whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life. So if you have a human with a +1/+1 counter, you gain 2 life and draw a card.
Right.
And green, like I said, if this is humans, you're playing probably green and white. So you're probably playing Selesnya. Selesnya loves +1/+1 counters. So I could see it showing up in that kind of a build. I'm not sure in modern if there are any human decks that run Selesnya. It could probably Collected Company. Something along those lines. Coco.
Right.
But I like the card. This is a good card in Commander. This is a good card, I think, in Modern. I'm not sure if the 4 mana cost is going to be too much for it. Atraxa possibly too.
Yeah.
You lose some of the synergy unless you play Atraxa Changeling Human Tribal.
Right.
But yeah, it's an interesting way to get some extra cards, get some extra value off your creatures dying. I could even see it if you went into more of like a Sultai or Abzan strategy and were sacrificing creatures for value. Throw a little black in there. So it's a decent card. Nice, not bad for an uncommon. The last time you saw a 4-mana enchantment that was scary was Wilderness Reclamation. This certainly ain't it, but it's decent.
No. All right. Well, mine is going to be. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong screen. Is going to be. I came up with Vampire's Vengeance. It is a red and 2 colorless. It's an instant. Deals 2 damage to each non-token vampire or to each non-vampire creature, and then you get to create a blood token. Mm-hmm. I kind of like this just because Red needed this. Like the fact that mono red hasn't been a thing for an entire set now is weird to me. Like this seems 100% a really decent card. It's not the best. But I like the fact that it's doing it. It's kind of trying to push the vampire tribal a little bit more.
Yeah, I do. I mean, mono red already has a couple of small board wipes like this in Standard. There's one in Kaldheim that I think exiles creatures if they die.
Right.
And a Braid is getting reprinted in this.
I saw that today. I was like, wow.
There's a multitude of 2-mana spells that deal 3 damage to creatures. Again, there's not a lot of stuff that goes face, and I think that is one of the things holding mono red back is that it doesn't have a lot of reach in the regard of direct damage to the face.
Right.
But this is a decent card. I mean, it wipes the board of small creatures. If you're playing vampire, if mono red or like red black vampire aggro becomes a thing, this is a great card for the early game against mono white, or maybe even, I don't know so much about mono green, but possibly mono green, to keep the board clear on their side, so that way you can keep going through with your guys.
Right.
And then getting a blood token gives you a little bit of card selection to maybe refill, discard something that's kind of clunky, maybe get some gas. So it's not bad. I like it.
Yeah. So let's see your next one. I love this card.
Next card is insert stupid Simic legendary permanent here. This is Gralnock the Omnivore. So it's 2, a green and a blue for a 3/3 legendary frog. Whenever a frog you control attacks, you mill 3 cards. Okay.
And Jake, you're not wrong. Hold on 1 second. He's like, it's an easier to cast Cry of Carnarium. Yes and
In a
no.
sense, yeah.
Cry of Carnarium, though, put the -2/-2 counters on it, didn't it, for a turn?
And also exiled the creature
Yeah.
if they died, and exiled any creatures that died that turn.
Yeah, Cry of Carnarium, I think, was a better card. Because
Cry of
it
Carnarium
got
was a
around
better card,
it got around indestructible, because it was like they get -2/-2, not deals 2 damage.
Right.
So I think that believe me, I'd love a Cry of Carnarium. But
The red card being an instant is more of a gotcha, but I mean, a lot of the stuff you're going to be going against, you're hoping they don't have a lot of like protection tricks or indestructible, like you said.
All right, go ahead.
But anyway,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's cool. No, it's all right. So Gralnock, whenever a frog you control attacks, and this is a frog, you mill 3.
Ribbit.
Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a croak counter on it. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards you own in exile with croak counters on them. This thing has value engine written all over it. As a commander, this thing is nuts, because if it goes away and comes back, it still sees those cards that are exiled because they have counters on them.
Right. Not just that.
It doesn't matter who's like, if somebody's happened to, if someone gained control of your Gralnock, it says cards you own in exile.
Yeah.
So you can still, they can't cast your card.
That's a good commander as well, because there's so much in commander these days that's dealing with getting rid of the damn graveyard. Mm-hmm. If I can get rid of my own graveyard but still have access to things in my graveyard, hallelujah, God bless America, thank you for playing.
Well, this doesn't really do anything with your graveyard. It's just this basically.
Well, no, it's basically you're taking things. Anytime anything goes into your graveyard, it goes
from your library.
Oh, okay, from your library.
From your library. So
yeah.
anytime you mill.
Yeah.
So this is a Simic self mill value engine,
right.
Basically, it protects the cards that you're milling from other people's graveyard shenanigans. As long as you can keep Gralnock in play, you can take all your stuff is tucked away in exile, safe to cast. They can't do anything with it because nothing interacts with exile.
Right. That's what I'm worried about. We still haven't heard the card that interacts with something we haven't been able to interact with. All right. So my next one, and
I think that's what Cleave was.
Yeah.
Because we never edited the text box before.
Morrow, you suck. Because let's just talk about how Cleave breaks something, because Alchemist Gambit, that's the card I'm doing next, and holy shit, what the absolute F is wrong with Wizard? Seriously, what are they smoking? Because it's a card that's going to see play. I guarantee you it's going to see play.
Absolutely.
It's Izzet Colors. So basically, it's a cleave card. So for 2 red and a colorless, you get take an extra turn after this one. During that turn, damage can't be prevented. And at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. Exile Alchemist Gambit. Mm-hmm. Fine. But the big thing about at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game is in brackets. And if you play the cleave cost of 4 colorless, 2 blue, and a red, so 7
mana, there's the magic number.
You get to take an extra turn after this one, and during that turn, damage can't be prevented. So let me see if I understand this right. I'm doing math in my head now. Mm-hmm. In a standard deck of 60 cards, we now have 8 out of 60 cards that will give me an extra turn.
I'm not
for
certain
7.
This is actually going to be a 4 of.
I don't see how it's not, because of the damage prevention. The fact that it gets around prevented.
Pay for 7.
Yeah, but the fact that it gets around, that is not hard to do in standard today. The fact that this gets around protection.
Yeah. When I saw this card, I audibly went, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
Because remember, they're not banning Alrund's Epiphany until after Crimson Vow comes out. And Alrund's Epiphany was a big card in what color combination it likes to take turns?
Blue and red, yeah.
So they just gave him an extra toy. I mean, I'm still very happy to be receiving that bundle.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet. We don't know. It could happen next week. I've got till release, sir. Not even pre-release. I have till release.
They said it's not happening until after release.
Yes, but again, they have changed their minds before. I've got till release, sir.
It's not happening. You just keep crying into that beer.
Well, I'm not crying. I'm just drinking it. But yeah, this card is busted out loud. This card is a mistake of the exponential proportion. It will be banned. I guarantee it'll be banned.
Well, oh really?
Oh, don't even start, man. I'm already into you for too much. I guarantee you, I can guarantee this is going to see a banning.
We may have to have a discussion about this because you guaranteed Mordenkainen would see a ban.
I didn't guarantee Mordenkainen. I said I thought it would. This is a 100%. There isn't any content creator I've listened to this past week that hasn't said the same damn thing. That this card is going to be banned. It has to be banned. It's going to warp standard completely because extra turn spells.
Stop.
Yeah, extra turn spells should not be in standard. They shouldn't.
They should not be.
They're like, well, we're costing it appropriately. We're saying for 3, you have to end the game on turn 4. Fuck you.
Goldspan Dragon says hi.
Yeah, it's. I'm sorry. This is a mistake.
Think about this. Okay, is it colors, right?
Yeah.
There is a card in Crimson Vow that if you decide you don't want to pay the cleave cost, but you still want to pay 7, you can split the cost up. You play the extra turn. You go to the end of that extra turn with that trigger on the stack. You flash in overcharged amalgam. Costs 2 and 2 blue. It's a 3/3 with flash and flying and exploit. When it enters the battlefield, and if you exploited a creature, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability.
So it counters at the beginning of that turn.
It counters the lose the game rider.
Holy
it counters that part.
Shit!
So they put a combination in the set that gets around this. If you don't feel like paying 7 up front, you can get around it. And guess what? It, and it has flying. So I don't know what the hell they're trying to. An expressive iteration. One of the stupid things. Yeah,
Galvanic iteration, right? Yeah.
Galvanic iteration. That's still. I keep getting those confused.
I know. I get you with it though. It's sorry. This is busted. This is 100% busted. This card will be banned. I almost
what's going to happen? The problem is that okay. There's multiple problems now. Alrund's Epiphany. One of the reasons that it's so good is that it gets around hand disruption because you can foretell it on turn 2 and just have it, just park it until you need it. This new one only costs 3, and okay, if they get it, no big deal. You still got Epiphany. You have flexibility on when you want to cast it. If you feel like casting it early, you can flash in an amalgam to get rid of that lose the game thing. That curves you into Goldspan Dragon, which curves you into Alrund's Epiphany, gets you a couple of birds. You probably have the mana to copy it at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they ban Alrund's Epiphany at least
in a couple of weeks. They will ban Alrund's in a couple of weeks, and Alchemist Gambit
release.
And Alchemist Gambit will come probably at Kamigawa. Is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they're going to ban anything out of the new set right away. I think if they ban Epiphany, I think the Alchemist. I think that stays. I think it stays until the first major tournament. Until they see is it for the second major tournament in a row, everybody playing Wizards will say, okay, it is warping the meta. And they'll be like, well, this is actually a card we wanted to be used in Legacy, which it also is bad in Legacy. But yeah,
I don't think that's the case. I think the fix to that is killing Epiphany. I mean,
I do think killing Epiphany is good, but then Galvanic Iteration still copies this shit.
It does, but if you copy it without paying the cleave, you have 2 turns in a row that you have to worry about the end step losing the game.
Well, no, if you copy it while you play the cleave, while you pay the cleave.
If you copy it while cleave, then yeah, that's the thing. But the other thing too about Elrond's Epiphany is that it gives you a board presence built in. This one doesn't. Right. You have to do more work with this one to get to that point.
It doesn't matter though, because it stops protection. Like, that's the thing.
It stops damage prevention, but the big thing about extra turns is that you're taking the extra turn, so they're not going to be dealing damage to you anyway.
Right, but it stops them from being able to play a protection. And there are plenty of creatures and spells out there that stop. You know, like this will see play in Commander for sure. This will be in a Commander deck.
I feel like Alchemist Gambit needs a little bit more setup than Elrond's Epiphany.
It does, but I don't think it's as much as you think.
It's still bonkers.
Yeah,
it's still bonkers.
I think it's bannable. I really do. Out of all the cards that I've seen so far in this set, this is the one that's bannable.
It's definitely the one that made me go, God damn it, Wizards! Why did you do this again?
You're just like, what the absolute? What are you smoking? So let's get into your next one, because I mean we've beaten that to death. So here's your mythic.
Yeah. Okay, so my mythic, which I think actually kind of works with Alchemist.
It really does.
Gambit. It's Manaform Hellkite. We have a 4/4 flying dragon for 2 and 2 red, like Benson said, it's a mythic. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, hey, look, that extra turn spell is not creature.
Yeah.
Create an XX red dragon illusion creature token with flying and haste, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell.
Not its mana cost. Ding, ding,
so
ding.
You cleave it.
Not its mana cost.
Exile that token at the beginning of the next end step. So that is okay, good. So you take the extra turn with this in play, you pay 7 to cleave it, you have a 7/7 flying haste, smack them in the face. That goes away. Although if it's late enough in the game, you can overcharge Amalgam to counter that triggered ability as well. To keep your 7/7.
Jesus.
I see a deck already just from those 3 cards.
I know.
This is so, oh my god.
Is it bonkers?
Yeah,
is it the new Simic?
They need to find a couple 2-tree banhammers for this thing, because I mean this card, Manaform Hellkite, in and of itself, super powerful, not bannable.
No.
It's a creature.
It's an enabler. It's an enabler.
Yeah. And holy crap, does it enable some shit?
Yeah. Well, then,
even if you play Foretell on Elrond's Epiphany, you're getting a 6/6 plus the 2 1/1s.
Right.
And I mean, if you happen to have 10 mana, there's the Amalgam. That's another 3/3. By the way, they all have flying.
Yeah. Oh, this is insane.
This card in and of itself, this is a limited bomb.
Yeah.
This is definitely a constructed card. I'm not sure if the deck exists for this.
It's a dragon. Is it dragons? It's dragons. I'm sorry. This goes into every dragon deck out there.
This into
it's one cheaper than fucking Goldspan.
This into Goldspan, into Epiphany, and or Alchemist Gambit.
I'm telling you right now, the Is It Dragon deck just became tier 0. It did.
Yeah, it's tier S.
Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. My last one, my mythic. I chose the Cultivator Colossus. That got previewed today.
You get some shenanigans for this one too. This one's got shenanigans written all over it.
This one's gonna go in my Omnath deck. It's a 7. It's a mythic. It's 3 green, 4 colorless. Creature, plant, beast. Has trample. And it says Cultivator Colossus's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. So it's already a Nyx. Not a Nyx Bloom, but
it could potentially be a 7/7 trample.
Yeah. Well, it should be a 7/7 trample when it comes in, because you're probably paying...
Well, I mean, unless you have mana dorks, but yeah.
When Cultivator Colossus enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So now it's an 8/8. And if you do, draw a card and repeat this process. God damn it, Wizards. Why?
Did you see the little video clip that MTG Goldfish already put out with this card?
No, I didn't.
No, you're gonna want to find yourself a copy of that Zendikar Rising Commander deck.
Yeah, I have one.
The Naya one.
Yeah, I have it.
Get Abundance, and read that card.
Do I have it over here?
Yeah. So I'll just put that in for you if you don't know what it does.
Oh no. Let's well yeah, you should put
I got it
in.
already. Abundance is an enchantment for 2 and 2 green. If you would draw a card, you may instead choose land or non-land and reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen type. Put that card into your hand and put all of the cards revealed this way on the bottom of your library in any order.
Got it right here.
All you do is pick land. Keep naming land. So what happens is that...
Wow. Yeah, that'll go on
What happens...
Yeah.
Cultivator Colossus will come to the battlefield and trigger. If you have a land card in your hand already, that's the other right. You need another land in your hand. You put that into play, and then you draw a card. Since you're drawing a card, Abundance says, hey, do you want land or non-land? You pick land. You dig through your deck till you find a land. Put that in your hand. The other card's in the bottom. Oh, that counts as a card you drew.
No, you put it on the battlefield. Tapped.
I know, but I'm saying you draw a card. So you put that first land that's already in your hand onto the battlefield. That triggers a Colossus, which makes you draw a card. Abundance is seeing that you're drawing a card. You choose land, which means you get a land from your deck. And, you look through the top cards. Yeah. Put that into your hand. The other cards go on the bottom. The final part of the draw trigger, the repeating process of Cultivator Colossus will then go on the stack and say, oh, you have a land card in your hand? Put it onto the battlefield. Oh, that means you draw a card. Okay, name land. Boop. Okay, put that in play. Okay, draw a card. Okay, name land. Okay.
I've just gone
all
infinite.
the lands in your deck are now in play. Yeah. The one thing you need to watch out for is if you're doing that with Omnath, remember you only get 4 triggers off of his landfall. However, Field of the Dead's a thing. All the other Omnaths are a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Scoot Swarm is a thing. Oh, God, Scoot Swarm's a thing.
Nyx Bloom Ancient?
They come in tapped.
Yeah, that's true.
But Scoot Swarm. Think how many bugs.
Zendikar.
In a typical commander deck, you're playing about 38 lands, somewhere in that range.
The plant token thing alone. Then you play
Avenger of Zendikar.
Play Avenger of Zendikar.
I mean, Tatiova.
Oh, this card's gonna see play.
This card goes into every. This is automatic in landfall.
Every
Throw
deck
Abundance in there as well.
Yeah,
that plus Abundance. You get those 2 on the battlefield. Every land in your deck is now in play.
In Commander, I knew you'd like this. I was like, this one Aramis will be like.
There's a lot of shenanigans. The one thing that doesn't work, and I'm glad they mentioned this, was that the bounce lands from Ravnica, the ones that tap for 2 mana,
right?
They don't work with this.
Right. Why not?
But all the other shenanigan lands, that's all good. Field of the Dead, go for it.
Yeah, this will be in my Omnath deck, which will annoy you.
There's some crazy stuff in this set. I do feel like they definitely have cranked the dial down.
Yeah, that's just it. Let's kind of talk about that a little bit. They've listened to us in regards to power level. Okay, the power creep has definitely subsided.
The powerful stuff is really obvious now.
Yeah, and that's how you want it. You want some power in your deck. Mm-hmm. You want some power in limited. I'm with that. I am 100% with it. However, the other side of that is still the extra turn spell. What the fuck?
Yeah, that should, they need to stop printing those in standard legal sets. I really hope honestly, it's probably going to be a year or 2 before we would see something like that change. But I really hope that they're listening, because this actually kind of pivots into something else that we don't really have it on the show notes, but I want to talk about that real quick.
Absolutely.
They announced with the Stranger Things Secret Lair how they're going to show up and set boosters, blah 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 blah, and there's going to be magic versions of those cards. It's not going to be the Secret Lair versions.
Right.
They backtracked on something they had said earlier. So now the Walking Dead cards are going to get magic equivalents that are going to show up in booster packs sometime in the future.
See, what people haven't realized is this, though. They always said that could happen. They had said the Walking Dead was exempt originally. They changed their mind. No, they said it was exempt from the thing. But when Walking Dead first came out, they said, we reserve the right to put these into Magic sets at some point when Walking Dead came out, because we talked about it. People forgot it because they came out and then they said, okay, with Universes Beyond, and Walking Dead is not a part of this. But Walking Dead, they kind of got around it. A lot of people forgot that, but they did say, because we talked about it, we're like, well, obviously you're not going to put Negan in there, so they'll make a card that's like Negan. And
Yeah, it's the same card,
Right.
same cost and everything. Just they'll have a different name and they'll have
Right.
vegan underneath it.
it'll be like the Dracula stuff, which we haven't talked about that, which isn't in
Dracula
here.
stuff or the Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
Well, my problem with it, it's not really a problem with it, but like the professor touched on this earlier today in a video too. Why couldn't they have just done this from the beginning?
Right.
Because remember, there was a huge outcry about The Walking Dead when it first came out because they're like, what the fuck are they doing? These are mechanically unique cards. It's basically automatic reserved list. If they decide not to do what they're doing now, there's no way anybody can get these outside of secret layers.
Right.
So, and they'd already done it with the Godzilla stuff. They're doing it with Stranger Things. So it's like, why couldn't they have just done that from the beginning?
Well, I like what they're doing with the Dracula stuff. I like that.
I'm glad they're doing
They're
this stuff.
skinning.
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, that should have been how it always was.
And it's a win a box. It's a buy a box promo card. It's not anything crazy.
I will say I was disappointed when they said those were the box toppers because I was kind of hoping that's what they would slip in, like Liliana the Veil or Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah.
Nope, it's reskins of cards from the set, which is like, all right, fine. I mean, if you're into Dracula, then great. I mean, myself personally, I'm not too jazzed about these. It's like whatever.
I'm not getting a collector booster. That's for sure. I mean, I'll get the booster.
Not.
I'll get the box we get from. I'm probably not even going to buy a spare box anymore. We don't play enough in paper, you and I, these days. Like, if I was going to standard every week, then, and once, who knows how things change once the pandemic's really over. But where I sit right now, it's hard for me to invest in paper and arena and invest in Commander. And I mean, we've got some, this is a little tidbit, a little sneak peek. We've got some information coming up on Commander stuff. We are going to, we're still a standard podcast, but we've been in talks with a few things. So Commander Craft is going to have some really cool, exciting changes coming soon. Not going to go into any more than that, but stay tuned for that information because we're very excited about that. I know, that's really what we do here. You got to keep them coming back, man. So, and Dave's in the chat. But, wow, this is really good. Holy shit, this is 10%. Oh, that explains a lot. Okay. So let's go to combat, where we're not going to combat.
Are you sure?
I don't think we have a combat tonight, do we?
Yeah, probably not.
We're sitting at 46 minutes, and I do want to talk about the win a box.
Alchemist Gambit's crazy. That's the combat. It wins.
Oh God, that card's gotta go. I'm telling you right now, I'm guaranteeing that card does not make rotation. I can guarantee that.
Rotation as in
when it rotates.
Next fall?
Yes. No, it doesn't rotate next fall. It rotates a year from next fall. Because we're in this fall. Next fall is we lose Zendikar.
I don't want to go so far out on a limb as to guarantee it. I'll say that I wouldn't be surprised.
I guarantee it. I'm going to guarantee it. I'm giving a 100% guarantee that card gets banned before it's rotated. Because it's fucking stupid.
It is stupid. It is very stupid.
All right, that was good combat. Let's go back to main. Yeah. And I already played the thing. So main 2. So that was kind of our Crimson Vow stuff. And guys, here's the thing. It's a good set. I'm going to put that out there. We're going to do more previews next week.
There's plenty of stuff I still want to talk about.
Absolutely. There's some great cards. And we'll be able to do 4, I think, next week because we're not talking mechanics. But let's talk a little bit about the Win a Box promo. So here's what happens. As you guys know, with every standard set, Kerwin's provides us with a box to give away to a listener. And we decided a year and a half ago now that the best way to do that is a one and done tournament. So we have 32 slots in this tournament. And so what it is it's played on Arena. It's played over whenever you can. You have 7 days to get your event in. So when we launch next Monday at the absolute latest, I'm going to try to go before then. If we can fill the 32, we will. If not, we launch next Monday. Right now, we are sitting at, I do believe, 18 or 19. And that's because we've allowed our patrons and Discord people who are in our Discord the first shot. But now we're opening up to all of you. So here's how this works, okay? It is a 100-card historic brawl tournament. So very much like the last one. However, we threw a little wrinkle in this one.
I like the wrinkle.
I do too. Oh, we're at 19, by the way. We have Ember. So the wrinkle is this. It is legendary 100-card historic brawl. And what does that mean? It means your commander cannot, once you designate your commander, it cannot be anyone else's commander. So as of right now, there are 18 commanders that have, or not 18, but I think there's like 16 commanders that have been called. That leaves 435 others. So you believe me, we're not hobbling anybody. But once a commander is taken, that commander is your commander. Nobody else will use it. So we will
still use it in the 99.
You can use it in the 99, but we will not see a Golos deck versus a Golos. We won't see an Omnath versus Omnath. Nick took Omnath. We knew Nick was going to take Omnath. The commanders that have been taken, and I'll tell you what, I'm kind of loving the fact that the commanders that have been taken are not, there's still some fucking monster commanders out there. The commanders taken are Kinnan, Gisa, Asmodeus, Kenrith, First Sliver, Finn, Kari Zev. I loved that. Civilun of Sea and Sky, Niv Mizzet Perun.
Birdfolk, really? Okay.
Yeah. Cody Vociferous Codex. You knew that was coming. Baral, Chief of Compliance. Golos.
That was coming.
Golos.
No, yeah.
Nicol Bolas the Ravager. Grim Gully, Dina Soul Steeper, and Teysa Karlov. So there are plenty of other commanders out there that are available. So once you designate your commander, then you have to put your deck list in. What happens is next Monday, I'll shut things down. I'll open the deck list so everybody can see the deck list, and I'll have the brackets created. After that point, you have 7 days to play your first round match. When you are matched up with somebody else, that's when the 7-day clock starts again. So you have 7 days to play your event. It is 100-card historic brawl. It is best 2 of 3. Now, it gets a little weird with that. There is no sideboard. Okay, you're not going to sideboard cards out. The reason we did 2 of 3 is we're all aware of Arena's problems. Okay, we're not throwing shade on Arena by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, we're totally throwing shade at Arena. Their shuffler fucking sucks.
And I don't want the feel bad of I had to mulligan down to 5 and keep a 2-lander. And I want you to have 2 out of 3. Now, the last event, we did have people give us videos, and I'm sorry we never got to do those. Aramis and I are going to put together a schedule for that. I do encourage you to record your events, because what happens is Aramis and I then do commentary of those events, of those matches afterward. We don't do it live because that's kind of unfair. So, but we're very excited for this. So it is 100-card historic brawl. To sign up, it's very, very easy. We use something called a tournament bot, and it's inside our Discord. So to get there, you have to go to discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. I'm not even doing a discord.gg/many stupid letters that don't work. I managed to make it work. Discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. You go there and sign up. There's a tournament lobby that you will find. You go in there and you follow the instructions. If you're lost, ask for help. We're all in there. Many people are in there throughout the day doing many conversations. It's also where Cantrip Cartel hangs out, so it's a worthwhile thing. We're very, very excited for this. I think this is going to be a fun tournament. Just looking at the commanders we've already got, I'm very excited for this. So.
I'm kind of hoping that there's other certain commanders that show up, because there's a lot of the ones you mentioned. I see them on a fairly regular basis. The Kari Zev deck, that's something that's going to be super interesting. I really want to see what that looks like. I won't be surprised if I see like a Magda. I won't be surprised if I see like a Mara Tandris. I won't be surprised with some variation of Teferi, Hero of Dominaria.
There's some, that's just it. Hero of Dominaria or Teferi Time Raveler. Like, I'm shutting
Time
off.
Raveler's banned in.
Oh, that's true. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Thank God.
I will say this. I have always had a lot of fun with Zakama.
Zakama's a fun deck. Like
Zakama, even Gishoth. Those are things. There's some ridiculous bullshit you can pull with a Zakama deck in Historic Brawl. Vorinclex is a thing. Not the new one, the old one.
Yeah.
The Praetor, the original one. And then, Sunbird's Invocation, Nyx's Bloom Ancient, there's Mirari's Wake. There's ways to double your mana, get Zakama out in turn 5, and just Yeah, it's disgusting.
So, guys, I hope you join this. This is a lot of fun. We have a good time with this. Make sure you record your events. We will schedule. I think we're going to do Fridays again for a while, if you can, Aramis. I'm not sure what your schedule is like.
I think Friday should be fine. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
offline. But we wanted to do commentary for the last Brawl tournament, and we're really sorry we didn't get to it. It's just we got busy.
Right.
Things just happened.
And that's
the timing sucked.
I'm really hoping to get this started as soon as possible so we avoid the holidays. I'd love to have the box out by Thanksgiving. So,
That would be awesome.
Here's the thing. It is only 32. If you want a chance to win a box. Now, I don't know, given how Wizards is, it's supposed to be a set booster box. But here's the thing. It's up to Kerwin's. So I'm not saying set, or I'm not saying draft. I guarantee it's not a collector. But it's either a set booster or a collector or a draft booster that will be sent to you for free. If you're in the continental...
I was going to say, yeah.
If you're in the continental United States, it's sent to you for free. If not, if you want to play and you're outside the continental U.S., you're more than welcome to play. It's just if you win, we're going to be like, hey, where can we send it? Can we send it to, one of my Job Corps people back, at the other place? Or, we'll give it to somebody. We'll make sure it gets to somebody who can't afford anything. So, or if you have somebody here you want to give it to, that's perfectly fine. So I hope you join. Like I said, 100-card historic brawl, but legendary. Like, this was a neat idea we came up with. I don't know what we're going to do for Kamigawa. I want to come up with something insane for that.
Ninjas only.
Or dragons. Ninjas versus dragons.
Ninjas versus pirates.
But yeah, it's definitely worthwhile. Everybody enjoys playing it. Because it's fun, and because we're not doing it on a Saturday afternoon where you have to sit in front of your computer and wait for your next event, the key for me is I want you to be able to play whenever you feel like playing. You have to get there in 7 days. You have to put your deck lists. I have to have a deck list. We had people sign up last time that didn't get me deck lists in time. I'm like, nothing I can do for you. So make sure you follow instructions. Make sure you're very active in the Discord. Because if you're active in the Discord, then you'll see that I will reach out to you. We communicate mainly through Discord. So, but
it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun to watch. It'll be curious to see how many people use Planeswalkers as their commander, because that's always been my one big
problem with Brawl.
Problem with Brawl. It's commanders that are Planeswalkers, because it's just they generate so much value. I mean, they're beatable.
Yeah,
they're eminently beatable. It's just
And I started trying to come up with an automated way to call commanders, and so I actually spent about 2 days going out and going through Arena and building a database of how many commanders were available. Because at first I was like, wow, man, I mean, this is going to suck because it's 32, but, there's probably only so many. And then I was like, there's 500 commanders possible, counting Planeswalkers. And War of the Spark alone provided a lot of that. But I mean,
obviously...
Yeah, some of them are shit.
They're not going to have. Yeah, they're not going to have the support.
But I also looked at it and said there are at least 50 top tier can win this tournament commander enough support. So that's where I felt okay about this. So, and what we did for this was, I mean, here's the deal. This is, and I'm not shilling our Patreon, but our patrons had first dibs, and believe me, 12 out of our 18 were patrons. Like, they joined up right away. I gave it to patrons first, then I gave it to Discord. So here's the deal. Even if you're involved in this and then you're like, well, stay involved in the Discord. Stay engaged, because we believe in rewarding those who help us. So, and this is really the only way we can do it. So,
help me. Help you.
So, Crimson Vow... Right, like I said, right now we've got about 16 taken commanders out of 32. There are 19 registered. So we have room for 13 more people to sign up. I will keep this off of Facebook till Wednesday. Wednesday, I will create the ads I put into all the different Facebook groups. So if you're a podcast listener and you're driving to work right now, discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. If you're watching this on a stream, discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. Because what happens is usually once I start putting this into the Facebook groups, this is kind of how we get unusual people to join up. So, but we usually can fill the tournament very easily through Facebook, Reddit, and all the various groups. So please make sure that as a fan of our show, as somebody who listens to our show, I want you guys to win it. You know, I want to fill the tournament because I want it to be fun. But if you're a fan of the show and you want a free box, sign up right away. We'd love to have you. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm loving some of these commanders, man. And Ember just signed up his commander. Ember took Tatiova. Tatiova's out.
I was wondering when Tatiova was going to get taken. That card. I just played Tatiova. I have a Tatiova deck. I just played it yesterday, and somebody had me down to like 5 life, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves. I untapped, cast Scape Shift, Time Warp, Battle Again Recovery into Time Warp. By the way, Scoot Swarm was out, and Field of the Dead. Hey, I think I had like 70 tokens on the board, and they're like, yeah, I think I'm done.
So Tatiova's in. So this is great. So I'm very much excited for this.
Tatiova. So
do I. Let me create Ember's. And Ember is the son of one of my friends from. Who am I kidding? He's a friend of mine too. They're a friend of mine too. So, 100%. Like, good person though. I'm kind of excited for them.
Tatiova's deck you can build in the cheap too, which is nice.
Yeah, well, that's just it. And they're a struggling college kid, so I totally get that. But that's kind of anything else we want to talk about with the Winnabox. And I mean, this is kind of the Winnabox until like we're not going to have anything else
until Kamigawa in February?
Yeah. So I mean, this is pretty much it.
It's gonna be a lull. It's gonna be really weird not having spoiler season for 3 months.
I am very excited for that, by the way, though. Like, I am 100% very excited for a bit of a lull. I want to get into some of the Commander Craft stuff. We want to talk about proxies. There are things we want to talk about. So, in some ways, like, spoiler season actually hurts us. Because it's like, God, we got to talk more about spoilers? Jesus, there's nothing. I can't talk news or exciting stuff. Like, I almost want to do, like, at the year end, be like, things we didn't get to. News that came out that we would have reported on, but it was preview season. I am looking forward to the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I'm just gonna put this out there right now. We're gonna have a special Commander Craft. It's gonna be the 4 hosts Commander Craft. It's Cantrip Cartel versus Planestalkers Podcast. So
now, is that Wednesday before the 17th or Wednesday before the 24th?
The night before Thanksgiving.
The 24th. Okay.
Yeah. So that's gonna be off the hook. Like, first of all, we gonna get wrecked.
Oh, Zakama's coming.
I'm locking
it in right now.
I think I have to roll in with like Omnath. What's my best deck? Omnath or Kali?
Probably Calamax.
Yeah.
Extra turns are ridiculous in Commander.
Cause not for nothing, but Jake they're coming in with legacy shit. We in trouble.
Well, Commander's Legacy is light.
Yeah,
so.
It's Diet Legacy.
Yeah, so I'm not too concerned.
I'm not either. Said nobody ever.
It's gonna be fun. As long as if they're not bringing CEDH, that's different.
Well, I've told them that, like, let's keep it friendly because nobody likes to see CDH on a stream. They're like, oh yeah, cards I can never afford. So. All right, so on that note, I guess we should go to
End step.
So, end step, while Aramis and I are rolling up our playmats, putting our cards back in their deck boxes, taking our pizza boxes over to the trash, because damn it, your mother still does not work in this game store, we want to remind you guys that we have a Twitch channel where we stream all sorts of content. You can look up the PlanesTalkers Podcast channel on Twitch, and there you'll see all the shows we do on both Magic and other geeky games. You can also follow me on Twitch at Mindcrime73, where I've started playing DC Universe Online, Farming Simulator. Minecraft is becoming a big thing. And don't forget, we have a Patreon Minecraft server. If you're a patron and you play Bedrock Minecraft and you want in on this, it's pretty active. My son's friends are all over the damn thing. So if you'd love to play, we'd love to have you. I basically set up a world where I took the world from Flashcraft, removed everybody's base but my own and the central city, and then made that the world. So I'm like, I still have my cool base, and the rest of you can build whatever you want. So definitely encourage you guys to see that. So Mindcrime73 is where that PlanesTalkers Podcast on Twitch, and I hope to check it out.
Yep. And if you want to interact with the show in a more real-time fashion, we've been talking about it all night. Our Discord is awesome. A lot of great folks on there. You can chat about the game, play a game over Spelltable if you want to do that. If you're lucky, one of us might be there, and maybe we'd be like, hey, yeah, sure, I got some time. I'm more than happy to join a game if I got the time for it.
At some point, I need to test my deck. So yeah, I'll probably be on there tomorrow night even.
So if you want to get in on that, discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. Again, that is also where you need to go if you want to play our Win-A-Box tournament to win a box of Innistrad Crimson Vow and get the ridiculous extra turn spell that Benson is guaranteeing will be banned before rotation next year or the year after or whenever the hell next rotation is. I forget. I've slept since then, okay?
Yeah. It's going to get banned. It gets rotated out in
getting banned before it gets getting banned before it rotates. That's his guarantee.
I guarantee that.
Not guaranteeing enough to put a pack on it, but guaranteeing it to guarantee it, which is
well,
fine
we will remember if we put a pack on it at this point. It's just stupid.
I will remember you. There you go. So also, if you want to follow our Twitter, we do post when we're going live. We're posting if something really interesting happens and we want to talk about it real quick and it's not in the Discord, go to @PlanesTalkerPod on Twitter. That's where you'll find us there.
And I want to remind you that my personal Twitter is @WRBenson. And of course, you can always follow us on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/Planestalker and like and follow our page. Don't forget, too, we do a playcast. What? My screen changed to my other camera. That's weird.
We're looking at your hand.
Yeah, that was really strange. Okay. Well,
and now we're looking at, there's the green screen.
There's my green screen. Yeah, so my personal Twitter is Planestalker, facebook.com/Planestalker, not Planestalkers, because that's somebody's airplane site. Like and follow our pages there. Don't forget as well, Wednesday night, we do not have a fourth right now. We do have a third because Spawnable Drotha won last week. We're looking for a fourth. If you're a patron, we'd love to have you sign up before tomorrow. You're welcome to. Just hit me up in the Discord. If you're not a patron, you're welcome to sign up tomorrow after 8 a.m. We need a fourth for Commander Craft. That is our Wednesday playcast where we play Paper Commander live. Tune in on all of our channels Wednesdays around 7 Eastern. And again, we're looking for a few players. You could be one of them.
And I think I figured out what I'm going to play on Wednesday.
Oh, shit. Sakama.
No.
Okay.
No. I think I might play Sika.
Ooh.
Because if
don't play Zozu because I've got Zozu.
Well, I was thinking if he's playing a lot of enchantment hate, all those guys are indestructible.
True.
So I have some resistance to that.
That's actually not a bad idea.
It's a slow enough deck. It's a slow enough deck that I can, everybody can still kind of do their thing. So. Well,
if you look at the deck list I put up for what I'm playing Wednesday, though, here's the thing: if it gets going, I could do because It's not just. I'm trying to damage your face. And I'm trying to do like triple, double damage every time I do it. I've got 7 Dragon's Approaches in there. So I'm like...
Dragon's Approach Torbran. Okay, I got you.
So I'm like...
Where's my meddling mage?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to be looking to hit people in the face. And Spawn, no offense to you, my friend, but you're public enemy number 1 right now. So
I have no enemies right now. Just let you know, we'll wait until the game happens. I'm keeping my game memory short for this one because I really didn't get a chance to do much of anything with Pirate.
Well, you hit a freaking wall on your first game.
Both games, kind of, really.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, but our emails. Why don't you talk about our emails?
Talk about emails. Send us things through the interwebs. Email is the snail mail of today. Nobody even sends emails anymore. But if you decide you want to be a dinosaur and send an email, there's 3 email addresses. Let's see, squawk. There are 3 different email addresses you can use to get in contact with us. They are zakama@zakama.zakama.
Have you been drinking?
Just kidding. Comma, chameleon.
Yes.
So, yeah, the first email address goes to both of us. It's podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com.
Woo!
If you want to email one of us individually, we read all the emails anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the air if they're especially snarky and cool. We like that too.
I read them even if they're not.
Yeah. Half the time they're spam.
Yeah.
You want to email Will? You can email him directly. His email address is, oddly enough, will@planestalkerspodcast.com. If you want to email me, it's Aramis, Aramis, at planestalkerspodcast.com. Zakama.
Yes. So I guess on that note, we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We had a good time. It was nice to be back. Sorry we had to take a week off while I was dealing with some stuff. But we will be back next Monday with the big show, as well as Wednesday night for Commander Craft. Please make sure you tune in. We really appreciate all of you watching and supporting the show as you can. So for Aramis Perez, this is Will Benson saying thanks for being listeners. Thank you for being a part of our show, and reminding you to always keep some of your mana untapped, because you never know when you'll need it. Take care and have a great week. Bye-bye. And we're out. I will save, export project as audio file. Call this episode, what is this, 118?
And Steam.
Right. WB Sounds. All
118,
right.
damn.
Yeah. So check this out, though. I think I did pretty good here. So let me change this up. I didn't mean to do that earlier. I was just getting it ready. Like, dude, This is my camera that is always in place. Oh.
I see so. Good. There you go. That's better.
Like, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, you just gotta get the edges a little better on where the mat is. Get a little more centered on that, because you want the life totals to be right on the edge.
Like right later. Yeah.
Yeah, and move it over like horizontally a little ways.
I just can move my phone over. But even this, like, dude, there's almost no. There's a little bit of glare in the middle because I've got the ring light, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fine. Yeah. That's sort of how my setup is. And like I said, I mean, I use a couple of long boxes, put 2 secret layer boxes on top of that, a yardstick on top of that, and then the camera rests right on top of it. It works. I'm
using the ring light there. That I need to get you that. I think I'm gonna buy that using the patron stuff, because why not? But I'm just using a ring light. I've got it clipped to the shelf above the area, and then pulling it down, and then I have the webcam sitting right in the light. So.
Yeah, I don't know how. The way I have my setup here, I'm not sure where I would put a ring light.
Yeah, because it clips on. So I mean, even if you clipped it to like a tripod or whatever you got going on, but because I mean, sometimes you do have some ring issue. You have some lighting issue, but it's all good. All right, so I had to open Dropbox, which is down in the Kindle. That was a good episode. That felt good. I feel really good about that. I hope people sign up for this. I think people are kind of... My fear is, like, once they figure out what's happening, like, they're like, like, my commander I wanted is taken. I'm going to be like, look, there's... I
mean, it forces a certain level of innovation.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, like you said, there's metric fuck ton of commanders they can choose from.
There really is, and good commanders. I'm not even just saying like like shitty commanders. Like, you know, I'm pretty amazed at some of the first one. Like I said, to get 16 or 17 in without Tatiova going.
I'm surprised there's no Croxa. I'm surprised there's no Turgrid.
Yeah.
What else? Like Kumena. Surprised there's no Kumena. There's no Elena the Dusk Rose. No Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord, or whatever it is.
Yeah, Vampire deck.
Vampire's got some toys.
Right.
I mean, because it got all the Ixalan stuff there, too.
Yeah.
There's no the dwarf there from...
There's no Torbran.
Not even Torbran. I'm talking about the one, Magda. There's no Magda. Yeah. Magda's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. There's plenty of. I mean, Krenko, either Krenkos. You know,
there's no goblin.
Helion.
Yeah, there's no goblin.
Bassa.
Yeah, so there's plenty.
I mean, there's also the dude from the D&D set, the Simic guy that copies creatures. I've seen a lot of him lately.
Yeah, so
there's plenty.
There's plenty out there, still out there.
Yeah. So we'll get people.
We'll get.
And if
I'm
not,
sure.
we run with the guys we have, and
Yeah, usually
have a
we
great time.
even with a 32, we end up getting at least 24 to 26. So it's worth it. I mean, I've kept it 32. It's funny because the one time I made it 64, we ended up with 32. The one time I made it 32, we ended up with 16. You know, the old days. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with 32, and that's all there is. You have a 1 in 32 chance of winning a box.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
excited.
if it was something like a collector box of like a really good set, then I think we probably get a lot more people signing up. But at the same time, you get a lot of like, I don't know, less than savory folks signing up or something like that, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's just it. Like we end up with I ended up chasing people last time for deck lists, and I'm like, that was when I had to cut people, and I'm like, look, I'm sorry, I'm really thankful you're here, but you know, if I don't get a deck list, can't put you on.
I mean,
So
you gotta be able to do the deck list.
yeah, but all right, my stuff's up, your stuff's up, so I guess we're at an actually decent hour too. It's only 9:30. Yeah,
Nice and crisp.
yes. All right, so if there's nothing else, guys, I mean, we got people, Sakura and everybody else watching. Anybody else got anything? Otherwise, we're gonna shut her up for tonight and get ready for Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at my pile of decks back there, and I'm like, let's see, what am I not playing? Yeah, Traxos is probably a really bad idea.
Oh, Traxos would be bad.
Traxos would be a real bad, unless I was able to get Darksteel Forge out. But
I mean,
that's a tall ask.
I really think this deck is actually going to be fun to play because it's a little bit lower tier. Bama man, if you can get a commander deck, you're in a hotel. You should be playing with us. It's a little bit. It's not tier commander, but it's still. I think this will hang against him pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said with my Asika deck, it's like it's not fast by
No.
any stretch. I mean, it can have a super fast start, but that's the exception. That's not the norm.
Well, and the fact is, you challenged me to go to a one color commander, so of course I go to Torbjorn because why not?
Because it's burn. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean seriously, the burn stuff I've got in here. I mean,
Well, you have access to everything, really.
Yeah. So, and I really went for the burn that does to all opponents. Like I really, I don't even think I have shock. Do I? I don't have shock in this. I did throw
Well, you don't
lightning
wanna play
bolt,
shock
lightning
anyway.
strike, but
Yeah.
I mean, I
You
threw
don't want to get too redundant because then you start, drawing down on the power.
right exactly.
Lightning bolt should be there.
Yeah. I threw strike in, but I might take it out and put another dragon in. But
You want more. How many dragons are in your deck?
7
Yeah, I mean,
dragons
if you
approach.
want-
I mean, not dragon creatures. There
that's
are
what
no,
I mean.
No, I'm
there
just
are no
using
dragons.
Dragon's approach for, hey, I have Torbjorn out. I have Fiery Emancipation out. I have, what's some of the
So
other...
you're basically kind of relying on getting those other things out to make the dragon's approaches really worth it.
Yeah, Jessica's Will or, Mizium Mortars past it. There's lots out there that once it's out, Burning Earth is going to hurt you. Dictate of the Twin Gods is, double the mana. Fire Emancipation.
Hopefully you can go Mountain, Mana Crypt, Jessica's Will, Torbjorn,
Yeah.
Dragon's Approach.
Yes. Everybody takes 20. Good night. So that's the hope. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
All right, brother. I will. You know what? Let's go ahead and stop the stream. And guys, thanks for watching. And let me get a laptop and a new webcam. Dude, you're working. You should get a laptop. Go get a laptop. Go buy one tomorrow.